Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update, the May 6 update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th. Will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. And that's what PlayStation on their own Twitter account tweeted out. See, Sony, that wasn't so hard. And now Helldivers 2 is so bad, boys, because it was touch and go for a little while. Helldivers 2's review scores were plummeting.
Oh my goodness!
Too fast for Sony to even comprehend, because Sony wanted to bump their PSN numbers, because, you know, the whole corporate tactic of anything growing is better than nothing growing by any means necessary is the number one thing that most people who don't deserve jobs, you know, rely on to keep their jobs. And someone that probably should have got kicked out a long time ago decided, hey, yo, boys, Helldivers 2 is doing amazing on Steam, not PlayStation, because PlayStation people do not buy games. Anytime a PlayStation game comes to PC, that thing rockets in values. Anytime it comes to PlayStation, everyone's like, hey man, we got a new game where we're just gonna play Call of Duty, 2K, Madden, and then they wonder why they don't get any games from Sony. They don't buy anything. So PlayStation needed to get them numbers up. So they decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and hit the hornet's nest of Helldivers 2 and get a couple extra PSN accounts out of them.
Well, you may have destroyed my arm, but my legs are still feeble yet functional. Oh.
Which is stupid, seeing that Helldivers 2, one of the greatest games to come out this whole year, and probably gonna be the greatest game to come out this whole year out of every game, because it is a live service multiplayer shooter that does it right. This game, Helldivers 2, did everything right and everyone praised them for it. But there was a small little itty bitty, I like it, it was readable, text saying that, hey man, you need PSN. But PSN didn't work on Helldivers 2 the first few months it was out. It just didn't work. I don't know how it didn't work. Don't ask me. I ain't one of these code writer people that love to just stare at letters go up and down. I don't know how the hell this shit works. But it just didn't work for the first few months. So everyone bought their copy of Helldivers 2. They had fun. They played it day in, day out. They did their mission orders. We all came together and we all celebrated some of the greatest victories in Helldivers 2 so far. And then Sony for some reason said, hey, yo, so corporate needs a little bump in the PSN numbers, or else we're gonna get, you know, $2 less this year in funding from Sony. So Helldivers 2 had to put out an update saying that on May 6th, which is today, they were going to force everybody, even people that are in countries where PSN isn't even allowed, and they were going to force them to make PSN accounts for the game. Now, obviously, a lot of us gamers, we don't read. I mean, like, check out this video about me and Tekken 8's newest character, because you know, we get a little excited about the game, so we really don't read that much into it. Usually our friends like, yo, bro, hey, go ahead and buy that Helldivers 2. We gonna run that shit tonight. And that's all you really have to say. That's really, for the most part, all you have to say. If you hear great reviews about a game and then your friends like, hey, yo, we're about to play some Helldivers 2, you're probably gonna buy the game without even like reading over the EULA. You agree to your organs being harvested type shit. Like, we don't even read that like 90% of the time, but it was in there. Sony did put it in there from the beginning. So did Arrowhead Studios, that you will need a PSN account. Obviously, it didn't work, so people just started buying the game. No one even knew this was even there for the most part. A lot of people just thought it was just maybe flavor text whenever they bought the game. But then, last week, Sony decided to hit the red button. They wanted all the Helldivers on PSN. Not just a few. They wanted all the Helldivers on PSN. If you played the game, they wanted you to make an account for it. And don't get me wrong, I have a PSN account. I have a PS5. So for me, I don't care. But for a lot of people who, A, can't make a PSN account because PlayStation isn't available in their country, or B, just don't want to, they only play Steam games. I'm like, as a person that plays PC games, it's kind of trash that I gotta log into like 80 different launchers now. Why can't the game just launch? Like, at this point, what's the point of a launcher? The game can just launch. You already put the stores inside of the game. Just make your launcher a game already. Like, I don't understand a lot of these games anymore. Just make your launcher the game. The store is already in it. But I understand from a PC gamer's perspective of why you don't want to make a PSN account. If you already weren't planning on playing any PlayStation games that weren't on PC, you weren't going to make a PSN account. And this number was just solely for corporate greed. I'm like, this is literally just a power move that somehow, I don't understand how, Arrowhead Studios somehow deflected this. I get it. I understand that, you know, as a community, we all helped Arrowhead deflect this with our review scores on one of the greatest games of this whole year. Because it's now at like mostly negative. But that was enough for PlayStation to be like, I don't think people making free accounts is worth, you know, the amount of money we would get from selling this game at $40 a pop. I'm just saying, free accounts aren't going to make you as much money as people literally spending money on the game. And they would also actively be losing money if they had to start refunding people who could no longer play the game because of this update. I'm just saying, Sony decided, yo, it is economically more valuable that these people are able to play the game the way they want to without us hindering them. I know, boys, I know. This is a wild concept. Someone at the corporation of Sony thought. They had an actual thought. They weren't thinking, they just had a thought of money might go down if people gets refund for a game. Free account make no money. I know, boys, it's simple economics for actual human beings that could run these companies better than the people at them. But for them, this is a life-changing moment. They just realized that people don't want to make a PSN account if they don't own a PlayStation. And at the end of the day, they're just trying to sell games to more people. So who cares if they're on PSN or not? Now, obviously, I would love to give all the credit of rolling back this update to just Sony and them having a, oh, customers don't want to have a PSN account if they don't really have to have a PSN account. But obviously, that's not what happened. The CEO of Arrowhead Games, again, like I said back in my Helldivers 2 video, the only man that actually knows how to run an actual profitable business, is out here talking to the community and trying to come up with solutions to make sure that Sony doesn't push out this update. And, you know, even in the toughest times, he's trying to make a couple jokes out of it. Is this the moment to tweet, "What? You guys don't have phones?" On a serious note, we are talking solutions with PlayStation, especially for non-PSN countries. Your voice has been heard, and I am doing everything I can to speak for the community, but I don't have the final say. Well, my guy, if you continue running a great community with Helldivers 2, you'll continuously start getting the final say in how your games are made, even if they're published by other people. Because at the end of the day, Sony just wants to make money. And if you tell them, hey, we're gonna lose money if you push out this update, and you're the guy that was just printing money for them in good press, I think they'll listen to you. Especially whenever the community also has your back and you're fighting for us instead of fighting for them. Which some of the people in the Discord, some of the community managers in the Discord, I'm not gonna, put up the screenshots because, they had a rough day. But some of them were kind of being little assholes, but honestly, I get it. Being called out of your name because of, decisions that weren't even yours is extremely frustrating. So obviously, I don't want to like amplify the hate towards those people in the community Discord for Helldivers 2 because they're just trying to do their job at the end of the day. And almost any game that gets this popular, you're gonna have a rough day. And we all have rough days. So, I understand. Some of them were like, just get a refund. Others were like, just make an account. Because there's no other solution that they had at that point. It's either get a refund or make an account. And those are the only two options. So I obviously, sympathize with the community managers. I sympathize with them. They have no sway on the game. So I don't want to even put out that bad energy towards those people in the Discord. Now, after PlayStation made the announcement that, all of us Helldivers fans don't have to make PlayStation accounts anymore, the CEO of Arrowhead Games, I don't know how to say his name at all, that's why I've kind of not been saying it. I suck at English-based names. Piles Tet, or is it just Pile Tetti? American. Thank you. But obviously, he had to take his victory lap after PlayStation tweeted out that we're no longer going to have PSN accounts just to play a fucking video game. Firstly, I'm impressed by the willpower of the Helldiver 2 community and your ability to collaborate. Secondly, I want to thank our partners and friends at PlayStation for quickly and effectively making the decision to leave PSN linking optional. Which, let me just, interject right here. I think that's one of the best compromises out there. If you want to link it, you can link it. If you don't want to link it, you don't have to link it. PlayStation will still get people who link their accounts, and if Helldivers 2 is like, hey, you get a special skin for linking your PSN account. Amen. For the people who want that special skin for linking your PSN account, you can get it. For the people who don't care about that special skin for linking your PSN account, and whatever marketing term that they want to, put up there, you don't have to. But the option is still there. Back to the tweet. We together want to set a new standard for what a live game is and how developers and communities can support each other to create the best game experiences. Amen, brother. That's all we want. Make good games, make good money. That's all a game company needs to worry about. Make good game, make good money. PlayStation was trying to do a long con. Make good game, get everyone to love good game, get them all riled up and force them to get on PSN so then we can raise our numbers so hopefully we can get some more money so we can continue doing this. Instead of just, making good PlayStation exclusives. I'm just saying, I have a PS5. That thing is dusty. I own a PS5, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the few games I played up there, but they don't come out with nearly enough games, especially multiplayer games. There are no exclusive PlayStation multiplayer games out there that actually use the new PSN technology or the new PlayStation controller technology. So why would I play on PlayStation whenever A, I can play for cheaper and better on my PC because I don't have to have PSN? Plus, if you want me to sign up for PSN, why would you force me to do it 3 months later instead of just doing it first day out? Hey, make sure that PSN works. Because at least it was first day, we would understand. Hey man, this is a PlayStation game, just go ahead and sign up. But 3 months, my guy, you allowed people who can't even make PSN accounts to buy the game, which heavily helped you. And if you put in that PSN requirement, those people would either get a refund or your game would be so downvoted to where not too many people will buy it anymore, which is the whole point of the game. You want people to buy it. The long con of getting everyone on PSN so we can raise more capital for the next game doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anyone except for the people at the top. No one gets help from that. Arrowhead Studios and Helldivers 2 wasn't getting extra money because they signed up 200,000 new users to PSN. They weren't getting no extra funding for that, alright? That was just for one of the executives who was like, hey man, I feel like getting a bonus this week. And I'm so glad that as a community, unlike Blizzard, Helldivers 2 and Sony were able to come to a compromise with the game that is extremely successful, and they were able to give the community exactly what they wanted, a compromise. If you want to link your account, you don't have to. instead of you have to link your account. This is beautiful. This is poetry right here. I don't understand why most companies can't do this. Because at the end of the day, you're making games. Like I said in my last video, you're just making games. This is not, there's no reason to be a shady company trying to play 18D chess. All you have to do is make the best game that you can, and you will just profit millions, if not billions of dollars. But for some reason, some companies think, what, I only made $1 billion this year? Only one franchise made $1 billion. We're about to go bankrupt. We only have $1 billion in the bank account. I don't understand these companies. They try to poke and prod every community that they have, and then whenever the community turns on them, they're like, we're getting review bombed. You guys are being mean. What are you saying that we ruined the game that you loved? So what? Grow up. It's like, bro, you ruined the game. And like, I feel bad for the Arrowhead CEO because he had a couple tweets saying that, you know, a couple of his other games were getting review bombed. Obviously, I get the frustration. Obviously, gamers are stupid. None of us read. Like I said before, we can't read. We're illiterate. We're all just illiterate because the hype blinds us. So if Helldivers 2 is being mean in some people's eyes and forcing us to sign up to PSN, that means it's obviously Arrowhead Studios making that decision and not Sony. Some people don't even like try to go out and research what's actually happening. And, you know, at the end of the day, they just want their voice to be heard. That's all they want to do. Each person that was review bombing every other game, obviously with Helldivers 2, this wasn't a review bomb. This was actual users being mad at, you know, the newest update, which is exactly what the review system is for. If you have a live service game, you just don't get to keep the good reviews whenever, you know, the bad times are rolling in. But obviously some people took it a step, you know, further, and they review bombed some of Arrowhead's other games that had nothing to do with PlayStation. Obviously, those people had no idea none of those games didn't have anything to do with PlayStation. But obviously, that doesn't make up the fact for the review bomb. But, you know, it's, I don't know, at this point, it's kind of part of the gaming industry. If you know you're about to work with like a pretty shady company, just know that you're probably gonna get review bombed, even if you do make one of the greatest games in the world whenever the shady company comes to collect on their debt. But boys, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and watch my last video. That was actually doing pretty good right now on Fuse and the new shield operator that should come to Rainbow Six Siege.